What's up, guys? Okay, that was kind of like a little heavy. I kind of just like left it like dropping the ball, like. But we're gonna keep it continuing. I got my girl Jodi here. Introduce yourself. Let us know where they can find you, social medias, all that good stuff.
Awesome. My name is Jodi Alexis, and my Instagram tag and my TikTok tag is Jodi Alexis as well, with 2 I's and 2 S's at the end. So yeah.
Okay, so you actually just said, and we were having a conversation a little bit about you not dropping anything yet. So are you currently like working on music now?
I am working on stuff. I'm in the studio and with this wonderful girl. Her name is Jalen, and we're working on like my first single. So yeah.
Okay, so if you guys didn't know, she plays guitar. She learned in 2020 during the pandemic. So tell us a little bit like about that, how that journey was. That's like in the pandemic that like really grew and like fostered a lot of people's journeys into new endeavors. So tell me what that was like for you.
Yeah. So like growing up, I always liked guitar. Like that was always my favorite instrument, but I just never really like took it serious. I never thought that I would ever like be playing anyways. And my guitarist at my church back in New York, he got me my first acoustic electric guitar. And this was in 2019, but because I was a senior in high school and everything, it was like too hard to practice then. And then, 2020 came and, I didn't have a prom, I didn't have a graduation, nothing like that. And, I was just sitting home alone. And because, my mom, she was a frontline worker, so I was just by myself and my dad was at work or whatever. And I was looking at the guitar and I was like, you don't have anything to lose. Like, you don't have anything to lose, so you might as well just start practicing. A lot of people, they thought that I was going to stick it through. They thought that I would just play for like a couple of months and then let it go. So I wanted to prove them wrong. And so I've been playing for 3 years. It's still like, that's still like a little bit to some people, but for me it's a lot because it takes a lot of focus and like passion to dedicate yourself to something like that. So yeah,
it's always good to prove people wrong because it's like I told you, like you really thought I couldn't do it, but now I'm out here doing it. So don't play. Exactly. So how is it at Full Sail? You're going to Full Sail currently too, right?
Yes, I do. I've been I started actually last year February and I graduate next year April. It's really fun. Like I've learned a lot of stuff. Some people, they were like skeptical about the school, but honestly, like it all depends on what you're there for and like what you take from it. I made a lot of good connections. My first ever performance was at Full Sail. I don't think it would have taken me a longer time to perform, honestly, if it wasn't for Full Sail. Or like the club, Loud Ladies, Natalie, she's the one that like pushed me to perform and stuff like that. So definitely. Is that
what got your foot in the door? Because you said you started in February. I started around the same time, and like I just started seeing you. I swear.
So like I started online, and then I moved down here in August. So it was around there.
And I feel like that's how it starts. You online, then you're like, okay, I kind of want to get the experience.
Right, exactly.
So with you in music now, you said that you had, well, not said on here. I know that you have an interest in marine biology as well. So I feel like that's completely different from music. So what's it like kind of like taking that leap to kind of fully immerse your career in music? Because it can be kind of fearful at first when you like kind of trying new things and testing out the waters for new careers.
Yeah, it was that was a tough time in my life, honestly, because like before the pandemic, honestly, I blame the pandemic on everything, but I probably wouldn't have been here if that didn't happen. But I was from the age of like 15, I wanted to be a marine biologist because I wanted to work with sharks because I love sharks and like ocean stuff. And because once the pandemic hit, I was always supposed to come down to Florida for college, but my parents saw how Florida was acting and they was like, yeah, they not wearing no masks. Like she was like, yeah, you're not going down there. Yeah. So I was like, dang, okay. So I went to school upstate New York because I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx.
Yes, but, I love it.
I went to school upstate and, I was in biology. I took, bio classes, chemistry classes. It sucked. I was like, yeah, I'm not happy here. This is not, I can't do this. And I started playing March of 2020, and I started college in like September. So I was like, okay, like it was like a what if I just took this seriously, because I was progressing, or people were telling me that I was progressing faster than like what like it would normally take. So I'm like, what if I really got this? Like, what if I really tried this? And that's really what it, honestly, like that's really what it was. And I'm very spiritual. Like I believe in God, Jesus, and I prayed about it. heavily, and I was like, you know, if this is what you want me to do, then you'll like make a way for everything, and so I'm here now. So.
I love that. So, and I love that you brought your spiritual journey as well, because I feel like that's what I want to get into, because it can be hard to like have faith or just like religion. So kind of like explain to me just your belief, what you believe in, and things of that nature.
Yeah, definitely. So I believe in relationship over religion, because, you know, religion is like you doing things because you have to, and it's like, yeah, I gotta do this because it says I have to, versus like relationship, it's like I talk to God every day. I try to talk to him every day, and I have like my own reasons why I choose to believe in him. You know, other people, they'll tell me like, oh, you're stupid for doing that. I'm like, nah, you know, I've got my own like I shouldn't be here, like, you know, alive, first of all, and I'm here, but he's got me through countless amount of things, even like mentally wise, you know, like I was never like suicidal or anything, but there was a point in my life where it was like, if I died, I would be fine with it. Like, I don't want to take my own, but if somebody else was, I would be like, you know, okay. And he was just the only person I could really talk to about certain things, you know, like, it's like, I don't even know if I want to get into it, but no, like, honestly, it's like similar to what you were talking about, like in the opening, about like, you know, sexual assault, sexual harassment. So I was going through like, you know, sexual harassment at like, you know, in my teen ages from people who you're supposed to trust. And I felt like I couldn't tell my parents. I felt like I couldn't tell my best friend even, because it just feels like you feel like ashamed, then you feel like embarrassed and like dirty or whatever. So he was the one that I, you know, talked to about everything. So yeah.
And I feel like that's definitely important. I didn't get to like touch on just kind of like the victim side things as well, because I feel like it's hard just kind of like going through that. And like you said, like literally, how are you gonna be able to grow from a situation if you don't speak up on it? So it's just like getting to that point can be like so hard to be able to like open up, just kind of find that right person. So how did you find that right person to like, because other outside of God, who was like the first person that you kind of went to that you felt comfortable talking to the situation about?
I actually went to so I'll say this because I hopefully nobody from like my high school watches this, but it was a dean that was, you know, sexually harassing me, and that sucks because, you know, I'm in school, I'm forced to be here. What the heck, you know, you shouldn't be doing that to kids. I was like 17, 18 around the time too, and he was like way up in his 40s. So I told one of my other deans who I had a really close relationship with. And, you know, one day I was like, yeah, I got to get this out because it's physically, like, it's draining. I was starting to take things out on my parents, and I still apologize to this day because it's like when you're holding in so much stuff, you just, like, for me, like, I'll get an attitude and then I just snap easily. You know, honestly. You know, my parents, they're just, like, wondering, like, what's going on with her. And it's like, I don't even want to tell you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because it can be like, can they understand, like, how are they going to respond in, like, such a delicate situation? You don't want people to, like, look at you differently or even try to, like, make you feel lesser or, like, oh, you're, like, this little delicate. Like, nah, this happened to me. Yeah, it happened. But, like, help me. Don't make me feel like I'm, like, this little... Exactly. So that's why I chose to tell him, too, because, you know, he was somebody that I could confide in and, you know, trusted. So... yeah,
that's good. I'm definitely glad you had that person. Do you have like any advice for anybody out there that's kind of like dealing with the same thing, so where they're kind of like scared to speak up in a sense?
I definitely, like, I understand why you would be scared to speak up because like I know the feeling, but I would definitely say it helps a whole lot than just keeping it inside, for real. Because I know like a lot of people, it's like a I don't even want to say a trend, but a lot of people, they think that they have to be like tough all the time, like, yeah, you know, hard exterior, all that, but it's like, nah, bro, like letting things out, even if you cry about it too. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm not gonna cry about it, I'm gonna just like,
it's okay to not be okay, y'all. I'm telling y'all,
okay. So definitely find somebody that you trust wholeheartedly too, like not just like, oh, I trust them a little bit, like, no, it gotta be 100%. So
I would guess kind of like just your perspective, or when you hear what I'm about to say, like how does that make you feel in a sense? Because like you have that perspective, and then here's also the negative side, because I feel like you have your pretend victims as well who kind of like take advantage of the sense, so whereas like it's not really anything that ever happened, or it's not anything going on, and they're kind of like trying to make something out of the manipulator and like try to like make them this bad person, and like they never really did anything. Because there are people out there there. Like, granted, there are people who take advantage of people, but there are people who genuinely like didn't do anything, and then they're seen as this big bad wolf, this big bad person, and they don't get a chance to like tell their side of the story. So,
oh, people like that get me tight. Those people, I don't like that, because it's like if you're just lying and just trying to be manipulative. It's like when something actually happens to another person, nobody's going to believe them.
Yeah, it's like a cry wolf type situation.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, like that. And accusations like that, because I knew somebody who got accused of, like, assault. Accusations like that are really big. Like, they're not, like, little, well, yeah, it's like that could ruin a person's career, too. So to know that, like, you, knowing that you're lying and, like, lying on somebody else, knowing that could damage them for life is insane to me, actually, So
as you were saying that, I was just thinking, like, because people always talking about certain things, and I feel like people always, like, say this, say that, have these opinions. Like, even me, I'm just somebody with an opinion. But, like, what are people going to do at the end of the day to kind of, like, change how people are seeing things for real? So my thoughts, and I'm just saying, I feel like people don't hold people accountable anymore. Like, people don't just, like, tell people about their friends, like, about, like, your relationship manners. Like, people are scared to kind of, like, either take that criticism or, like, take that kind of, like, you are doing wrong right now. You're not being the best version of yourself. You're not really, like, portraying the person and the version of yourself that you could be. And it's just like, I'm telling you this right now so you can kind of, like, get your shit together. So do you feel as though you're a type of person that kind of, like, just keep people in line and kind of keep the people around you in line in a sense and stuff like that? Because even me, like, I'd be like, how do we have these conversations to, like, get people to, like, get it together? I
definitely, like, that's why I like my friend group, too. Like, we all hold each other accountable for everything. Like, we're all blunt with each other. Mm-hmm. And that's just, like, that's just our personalities. And it's like, we got to tell you how it is. And if you don't like it, then it's like, dang, I don't know, like, and not even saying, like, you have to be mean about it either. Because a lot of people think that, oh, yeah, be blunt, be mean. Like, no, you can say it in a nice way, but you got to say something, because, like what you said, if we don't hold people accountable, they're just going to keep on doing it. It's going to be like
nothing. We're not really making any progress here.
Exactly. So
I do want to leave it on a good note. Mm-hmm. So I kind of want you just kind of what you have in strong faith in ups and downs. Something that you feel comfortable. I just want you to share with us kind of like a testimony, something that was maybe bad at first, but it turned into something good. Just to tell us what you've been through type.
Let me see.
Good old testimony. Since it's Sunday.
A good old testimony. What's a good one? That's a really good one. I'm trying to think. Like, my mind just, like, completely blanked out. I do have a lot, but honestly, this more, like, pertains to not even me, but my family. Mm-hmm. So my dad, he was a teacher, and I grew up in a Christian household. I don't even like saying, like, in a Christian household. Like, it wasn't, like, religion. It was, like, relationship, or, like, certain things we don't, like, do.
So y'all had it wasn't traditional in the sense, like, you felt as though you were more comfortable to, like, really have that relationship with God?
Yeah.
That's good.
Basically, yeah. And my mom, she's a praying woman. Like, she's, like, she prays for real. And I remember she would always tell me to, whenever she's praying, it would be like 5 a.m. in the morning, and she would wake me up to come and pray with her. I would be so upset.
Mom, why are you waking me up?
I would be like,
at 5 a.m., that's crazy.
5 a.m. in the morning, I got to wake up in 2 hours for school. Like, this is crazy.
We praying.
Right? And, like, I remember she was like, no, like, she feels it in her spirit, like, we got to pray. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't really praying. I really fell asleep. Like, I was like, let me just, all right, go back to sleep.
That's how it would be in church. Mm-hmm. You really sleep for real. Somebody got to wake you up.
Exactly. And, she was just, she's praying so hard. And I'm, like, kind of wondering, because, I was like, I've never seen you, like, pray this hard before, And she's like, no, I just feel it in my spirit. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I go to school, and, I come back home, and I go into the house, and she's, like, in tears and everything. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what happened? And she's like, your dad almost died at school today. And I'm like, what the heck you mean by that? And what had happened was a kid had brought a gun to the school with intentions to shoot my dad. And by God's grace, like, it was like, I haven't been in high school in such a long time. they like got dismissed for like lunch or something like that, and a random teacher just said, let me just look under this desk, like let me just look inside of it. Pulls out a brown paper bag, and inside is a gun. And, you know, they know who the kid was. And they confronted him about it. And he's like, yeah, no, I wanted to shoot my dad. And da-da-da-da.
And he was bold. He was like, yeah, this is what I'm finna do.
And I was just like, wow. And that's just like one of the things that, like, I firmly believe that there's power in prayer. Like, it's not just like, you know, it's just some words being said. It's like, nah, like, there's really, like, protection for real. And there was, like, countless amounts of other times, too, where, like, I shouldn't be here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But stuff like that makes me, like, get closer with God, for real. Because I'm like, dang, like, you're really looking out for me and my family. Like, that could have ended terribly.
When it comes to gun violence, too, it's so tricky because it's, like, you're putting so many people's lives at risk that, like, don't even deserve it, for real.
Don't even deserve it. I don't, like, it's just... It was a hot mess. And honestly, the only reason why he got so upset was because my dad corrected him with like something. Like he was acting out and he was like, yeah, you gotta chill out. And you know, he just threw
so sensitive. Yeah. We need to stop being so sensitive, y'all. Unfortunately, I don't have a good note to leave us off with right now because y'all so dang sensitive out there. It's okay. So I appreciate you coming on and being a guest on Mindful Melodies. We're gonna check back in a little bit, guys, with our next guest. We'll see you back in a few.
Shit. I see movie gonna be happening. Shit. Look, I be smoking weed until I'm elevated. Sometimes it's hard for me to think unless I'm medicated. Life really a movie. Gonna be hard for you to replicate it. Got it out the mud. My niggas had to excavate it. Going to sleep late and wake up early to be comfortable. 1,000 miles away from home, so I can't get too comfortable. Might stop for a week to see what niggas really want from you. These charcuterie boards run by hours, eating lunch. I'm going to sleep late and wake up early to be comfortable. 1,000 miles away from home, so I can't get too comfortable. Stopping for a week, see what niggas really want from you. These charcuterie boards run by hours, eating Lunchables. And I be out the way, so if you know me, then you know I'm that nigga rolling up. As soon as we get in the dough, I be popping hella shit, but you ain't never had to go. When it's only 3 people and your niggas at your show. And now that P12 gon' turn into a V12. Them bookings building up $250,000 in my email. Manifest the life on seashores with the seashells. My phone on D&D might not get back, but no, I mean well shit. Just know I mean well. Look, been getting flowers, so it's harder to be humble. Securing the bag, so it'll be hard for me to fumble. Watching my surroundings, I ain't gotta move a muscle. Tryna ball out in the O, just like I'm playing in the bubble. Bitch, I feel like Lil Wayne in 06. Y'all be robbing fast, but you ain't making no sense. If it don't refer to you, you won't take no offense. I hate when niggas come to me like, what was all that shit like? Bitch, get out the way, I do your ass like Ludacris. I'ma show you how to do it. Nigga, I ain't new to this. Show to hit the studio to let them know I'm true to this. Then I'ma do it all again, my life be on some movie shit. I keep some shoebox money just in case a nigga fall off. Keep some PTO for just in case I gotta call off. Highly underrated, ain't worried about being famous. When you see me at the Grammys, don't be blowing up my car. And I be smoking weed until I'm elevated. Sometimes it's hard for me to think unless I'm medicated. Life really a movie, gonna be hard for you to replicate it. Got it out the mud, my niggas had to excavate that shit. Going to sleep late and wake up early to be comfortable. 1,000 miles away from home, so I can't get too comfortable. Just stopping for a week, see what niggas really want from you. These charcuterie boards remember I was eating Lunchables and shit.